Technology is great until it doesn't work. So I have a question for everybody. How many of you have employees that are perfect, that never call out, never are late for work, do everything they're supposed to do, are engaged, run towards the customer, and love coming to work every day? I don't know, I think the people that are raising their hands are liars. Just saying. So I would love for you to see these slides, but you can't. So you're gonna have to tell me, they're awesome, I'm telling you. So I, years ago, worked for my dad, and some of you in the room may remember this company. The company was called York Steakhouse. So, and when I worked there as a kid, I worked the grill, and there was this guy that worked for us, his name was Herman. And Herman was that guy. Never didn't make it into work. Came to work in a blizzard. I remember one day I was taking out the trash, and a storm came in, and literally the snow was built up on his head as he was walking across the parking lot to get to work. So my dad comes out one day and he says, "Alan, you have a problem. Herman's not coming into work." Now, if you have employees and they call in sick, what is your first thought? Your real first thought? And be honest. They're full of shit, right? They're telling me a lie. They're not, they're faking it. They're giving me some story. Well, when my dad said to me that Herman wasn't coming to work, my first thought was, is everything all right? Right? See, our problem today is trust. We don't have the trust anymore because it's been broken down so many times. So when Herman didn't come to work, we were concerned, right? So I said, well, what happened? Where is Herman? My dad said, well, the story is so crazy and so nutsy that it has to be true. He said, Herman said, he's not coming to work. He's just going to be late. And he's not sure when he's going to get there. Because he's stuck in a phone booth and there's a bear outside. All right, well, it's Herman. So we have to believe it because we trust Herman. So I go around to get a soda, the old fountain sodas, and on the news, breaking news, there's a bear running down the middle of the street in downtown. And I swear to God, I saw a phone booth with a guy inside of it. And I couldn't believe it. It took me 28 years to come full circle and really understand what that meant. To get to a place where, man, you can trust your employees again. You can trust what they're saying. Today we're playing the wrong game. We actually play a game in our restaurants that's close to checkers, right? Checkers is a game where you're reactive. Something happens, you do something. There's a fire, you put it out. What we should be playing is chess. We should be playing a game that's strategic, that's tactical, right? How do we drive a car? Do we drive a car looking down at the road in front of us as we're driving? Or do we look a mile down the road so we know when to turn? But we stop doing this because we're too busy putting out fires. And today in our restaurants, it's death by 1,000 cuts. Rising food costs, paper costs that's going out of control. You supply, every time I do a supply order in our restaurants, they're out of 6 things, except for Colony Foods, of course. They're never out of it. And it just, rising minimum wage, we're getting hit in every direction. And we're paying more money to people now than we ever have. And they're doing less. So what happens? Right? We're stressed, we're in the restaurants, we're seeing things that we don't like. And this thought hits us, man, if I could just hire a few good people, everything would get better. Everything would turn around. So here's what happens. We go through what I call the karmic cul-de-sac, right? So we need some people. So we hire 2 people, some people come in the door and we're like, yes, life is good again, right? Then the next day they don't show up to work, right? Or there's a problem over here. And then they leave, and now we're in the shitter again. And then what do? I need some people. I need some good people. So we do it again. We bring some people in, and then everything feels good. We're feeling good. Now I can go do some work, the work that I need to be doing. And then they leave, and we go back. And we loop and loop and loop over and over again. Thousands of times, and years go by. So what do? We put on ads on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor, you know them all, right? We put all these ads, maybe we already had ads and we just turn them back on, or we create a new ad and put it out there, right? We're gonna look new. We're gonna do the same thing, we're gonna look new. And what happens? We get flooded in with 40 applications. And we're like, yes. People want to come work for me, right? And then what happens? 36 of them don't call us back, right? They literally ghost us. They don't email, they don't answer the email, they don't answer the text, they don't answer the phone. It's like the earth is flat, they just fell off the end. So you got 4 left. Out of that $1,000 you just gave Indeed, right? There's 4 left, and 2 of them are nurses. It has nothing to do with our business. How did they even get through? And the other 2 won't open, won't close, won't work weekends, won't do holidays, and won't do windows. They're not a good fit. And then this is our problem. The only person that's making money is Indeed. They're the only ones that are making money because you have the need to have to keep hiring people. And that's our problem. Our problem is we're not holding on to people. So we think that we're just going to go out and we're going to continue to do things the way that we used to do them. Over and over again. Things that worked for us 25 years ago. They don't work today. People are different today. So we think, man, there's no good people out there. They just don't exist. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. How many times have you heard this? Well, at least if you're finding a needle in a haystack, that's easy. You know what you're looking for. You're digging through the hay looking for a needle. That's not what's happening today. We're looking for needles in needle stacks today. And that's our problem. This guy right here could be a serial killer, right? Do you know what a serial killer looks like? Could live right next door to you. See, the problem today is the bad people and the good people blend. So when you're sitting there doing an interview, you have no idea, right? So then what happens? You do an interview, you get that person in front of you, and they lie. They tell you everything you want to hear. They get so good at it, right? The resume looks amazing. They've done everything for everybody else, but nothing for you. So, remember, we're the smart people with the technology. So we're doing this interview, right? And they're lying to us. They're telling us how wonderful they are. They're telling us everything we want to hear, right? They're making a promise to us at this interview that they end up not fulfilling. Now, yet, as the business owner, every promise that we make at that interview, what we're going to compensate them, any benefit, we have to fulfill on all of those promises. But yet, no one fulfills on the promises to us. And that's a problem. But what if you could flip that script? What if you could turn it around so all of that pressure was on the candidate? The pressure was on the candidate to perform, to do what they say. You want to make the money? Hey, not a problem. Who am I to say you're not the best thing out there? That you're not the cure for cancer? Just show me. Just do it. Just do what you say, and we'll pay you the money. Somewhere along the way, in all these years, we've lost it. It's gone. And the reason we can't get it back is because we continue to lower our standards every single day. Listen, people will never change, right? You can't put lipstick on a pig and call it something else. If they don't do the things that they're supposed to do, they're probably not going to do it. So what we've done at the Smart System is we've designed systems and processes to hold people accountable. So we spend so much time hiring, right? Focusing on the hire because that's sexy, right? Just bring a few people and everything's good. That's not right. All the problems are after the hire. Getting people to do what they're supposed to do, getting them to show up, getting them to be there to deliver the customer experience that we want to deliver, and doing it over and over again. I remember I had an employee say to me, hello? No. I remember I had an employee say to me one time, I was on time all last week. That's awesome. That's so good. You know what my mortgage company said to me when I paid the mortgage last month? They said, I don't give a shit. Pay it again next month and every month after that. Now, we don't want to be that harsh to people, That's the reality of where we are today. That's what we need. We need consistency. We need availability. So here at the Smart System, we tied it to compensation, because that's what everybody's after. We're after finding better people, not the typical people that we've been bringing in. The people that say to us, how many hours a week am I going to get, and how much money am I going to make? No, we want the people that we can teach skills to, that will be with us for a long time. And we separate out the bad people from the good people. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I was with the Dunkin' Donut world for 32 years. And 4 years ago, back in 2018, I was in a bad place. I couldn't find help. This was before COVID. Couldn't find help. I would work 6, 7, 8 months without a day off, open and closing, bringing my kids into work to close. We had 5 locations spread out. We couldn't be everywhere. Sounds a lot like what's going on today, doesn't it? But this was in 2018. So my mother was a franchisee, and I went to her and I said, I can't do it anymore. No. Let's sell the stores. Let's sell. She goes, not in the cars, we have too much debt. I said, okay. Shit, I gotta fix it. I gotta figure it out. So, I would work all day, trying to figure out what I didn't know. And I'd go home, and I'd go on Facebook, and lose 3 hours because I was so tired, I just wanted to escape. I remember my wife saying to me, what's the difference between taking drugs? If you're on Facebook for 4 hours. She said, your son has a play on Friday, and don't miss it. You've missed everything else. So, I started planning, doing everything I could to make it so I could be there on Friday. Called everybody, talked to everybody. Do not do this, do this. Backup plan, plan A, plan B, plan C. And then I'm sitting there on Friday, it's about 10:30, and my phone stopped vibrating in my pocket. The closer called up. The one thing I could, the one peg that if it fell, I was screwed. So that night, I get home, and Noah wants to tell me about the play that I missed. I didn't hear a word he said, not one, because I was zoning out. I was so tired, I was so pissed off, and I realized what I was doing. I put my phone down, and I said, I'm never going to do that again. I said, sorry, buddy, can you start over? Tell me everything. I was so fed up. So I went into the store the next day, and I got another call, and I said, that's it, I'm done. And literally, this was the statement that I said, and I didn't give a shit who heard me, that I was going to let the customers put the money in the register themselves and pour their own coffee before I put up with this shit anymore. Will never happen again. I'm never lowering my standard again. If you don't do what you say, there has to be accountability. So I went on this mission to fix what I didn't know how to fix. I took a call to action. I started doing things. I started trying things. And as I tried things, I got different results. And eventually, I cracked the code. And I increased sales. I put together a high-performance team. To the point where Dunkin' Brands came to me and said, what are you doing? And I said, if you want to know, it's $500,000. because I spent 4 years figuring this out, and you're not getting it for free. So what I did, and my wife thought I was crazy, is I left. Because Dunkin' Donuts, I love them to death. I spent 3 decades of my life there, but they like to break things. They like to poke and prod. So I went out and started my own brand. In the middle of COVID, went towards the storm. Everybody thought I was nuts, especially my wife. She said, "You're gonna do what? You're gonna leave, your manufacturing job? You're gonna leave everything you do? You're gonna leave the Dunkin' world?" I said, "Yeah, this works. And I'm gonna show the world it works." So I opened my own brand. And we doubled sales in 8 months. We put together a high-performance team that is so good that we haven't hired an employee in 7 months. So if you think that good people aren't out there, good people are out there. For some reason, they just don't want to work for you. And that's what we have to figure out. So what is the SMART system? The SMART system is a predictable application to attract, develop, engage, that's very important, the word engage, and retain what I like to call rockstar talent. So I'm going to say it one more time, just because I think it's that important. So what is the SMART system? It's a predictable application to attract, develop, engage, and retain rockstar talent. It's not going to tell you that if you just download an app, everything will be fixed. It's going to fix the core problems. And it's going to create an environment in your business that people want to come to work. They love coming to work. And we saw one little side benefit that happened. How many people have ever had someone just come in and steal one of your best employees? We call that in the industry poaching. We started to notice employees handing their cards back to people. I'm standing right there, I'm the owner of the restaurant, and people just come right in and try to steal your people. I had someone try to steal me. I'm like, but I'm the boss. I'm like, you can't steal me, I own a place. And they hand the card back. So we started seeing that our talent became unpoachable. They didn't want to leave. They loved working there. So what we're after is to stop the revolving door. The revolving door is what's costing us so much time and so much money. But imagine if we just didn't let them in the door in the first place, right? If we don't let them in the door in the first place, then they can't come right in, take our uniform, screw up all the orders, cause waste, cause havoc, chaos, panic, disorder in the company, and then leave and go to the guy down the street. It doesn't happen. So that's what we're after. So, I want to thank you guys for coming today. Just so you know, this was the first presentation I've ever done in my life in front of people. So I hope you liked it. So, if you can follow me and find me on social media at Hire Rockstar Talent, you'll see that all these little isms, we talk about them. My team loves to talk about them. We write articles, we do different things. Because we want to fix this. We want to win this talent war. And we want to take back the control that's been lost somewhere along the way. So I have a quote that's in my office, and the quote says, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." And that's what I set out to do that day when I left everything that I knew to prove that this works. And now the brand has come to me and said, "We have 2 stores at a family. We want you to take them over." Okay? And I've got people that are so good. Think about the dog when it catches the car. What do you do now? It caught the car. Well, now I'm making them operational partners, and I'm putting people in the business for themselves. That's what we're after. People that come to work for us that take skills beyond working for us. So that's all I got for you today. If you want to find me at lunch, I'd love to talk to every single one of you. And thank you so much for your time.